Right, so I keep telling you guys to save your leftovers. If you've made too much food, save it in a freezer bag and freeze it, and I'll show you what to do with that. Now, today I've decided to make Bubble and Squeak for dinner, and I'm going to make that using all my leftovers. So here we go. Bubble and Squeak. We've got leftover sausages, leftover Brussels sprouts cooked in bacon, leftover peas and sweet corn, leftover roast potatoes and corn pieces from when my daughter was a vegetarian, leftover chicken drumsticks, leftover carrots, leftover mashed potato, which is a very important ingredient in Bubble and Squeak, and leftover Swede mash. So, what we're going to do, and 2 eggs. What we're going to do is pop all of this into a bowl. Got some mashed potato. Swede mash. Now there's a bit of water come out of the Swede mash when it's defrosted. So I'm just going to make sure that the water isn't included in this. When you're defrosting things, put them in the fridge. Keep them in the fridge for at least 24 hours, depending on what it is, 24 to 48 hours to defrost. Sausages. So we're going to move it out of the way so you can see. Just put them quite thin. You can put pretty much anything in a Bubble and Squeak. Just as long as you've got potatoes and vegetables, then we're all good to go. Now this is the Brussels sprouts cooked in bacon. There were also chestnuts, because they were Brussels sprouts cooked in chestnuts and bacon. So there's a few little bits of cooked chestnuts there. So, oops, where's the camera? There you go. You can see. Peas. And 2 autumn. Now tonight there are 3 of us eating, so this will be plenty for 3, and this will be our main meal. And it is potatoes, meat, and veg, loads of veg. Okay, here's the carrots. You've also got quite a bit of water in, so take these out, don't just pour them out. So when they've defrosted, now you can see there's that water in the bottom. So I'm just going to chop these into little pieces. These were boiled carrots. I think, if I remember rightly, they were actually cooked on Christmas Day. Into little bite-sized pieces. You don't want them too big and you don't want them too small either. That was quite a thick one, so slice it down the middle. Sometimes I do have to look at these and wonder what they are, so I do forget to label everything. It's got corn chicken, which is quite small, but it's also got roast potatoes, which are quite chunky. I'm taking the roast peas out. Let's just pop the corn in there. Doesn't really taste of anything, so you won't notice it's there anyway. just going to chop up these roast potatoes. These are roast potatoes. Don't tell my daughter. Roast potatoes cooked in goose fat for Christmas Day. I always sneak in bits of meat into her vegetarianism without her knowing. And then I've got 2 chicken drumsticks of flavor consistency. So I did a big buffet for friends. And as usual, I cooked way too much food. So get some of it put into the freezer. Be careful when you're cutting the meat off of the drumstick, sorry, that you don't cut the bone and get shards of bone in your dinner. You also don't want the chunks of gristle or fat that you get on a drumstick, because they're not very nice. As much of the meat off as you can. A little bit of the gristle go on there, so let's put that there. I need to wash my hands in a minute because they're feeling quite gross. As much of the meat off there as I can get. I'm just going to wash my hands. Right, let's keep a tidy kitchen as we're working. I'm just going to pop these bits into recycling and meat into food. Sorry. Okay, let's just move these out of the way. Always try and keep your work surface clutter-free, clean, and tidy. Keeping it free of clutter means that you've got more space to work in without getting stressed. Keeping it clean means you won't get cross-contamination. Right, so as you can see, there's probably way too much there. That's absolutely ginormous. But because it's already been cooked, it can't be refrozen. So we are going to have to eat all of this. So we put an egg in. We put 2 eggs in. The reason we put eggs in is to bind it all together. Eggs are really good at that, binding things together. Right, so we want to mix all this in, and we're going to get that mashed potato and mashed swede around all of the vegetables and meat. Because it's the mashed potato that makes the patty, or mashed potato and mashed swede that makes the patty. Get really well into this. But nice chunky veggies without it being too big. got a meat in there, different kinds of meat, chicken, sausages, bacon, mashed potato, mashed swede, peas, carrots, sweet corn, chestnuts in there as well. So it's actually a really well balanced meal. As you can see, the mash is now everywhere, which is what we need. Let's wash my hands again. Yes, I do get really dry skin on my hands from how many times I wash them in a day. Right. Three frying pans. For no reason other than I know it's too big to go into one or two. So put some oil in each of those. We want to heat up each of our pans, but not on too high a temperature. So put your two big pans onto the bigger rings. On a low heat though. And put your smaller frying pan onto one of the smaller rings. Now if I had three big pans, I'd be using three big pans. If I only had little pans, I'd probably be using them more than once each. Just use what you've got. So I'm just waiting for that to heat up. Let's give that a wipe. Turn these up actually a little bit, just while we're heating the oil. Thing is, if you put the oil on too low a temperature when you first put your patties in, the food will soak up all the oil rather than frying in it. But if you put it on too high, when you put the food in, because of the thickness it's going to be, it will burn. So, fish sauce. That's starting to smoke, so I know that one's quite hot. Just for a minute or two. These are supposed to be non-stick pans. In all honesty, they don't actually really care. Right, so that one's quite hot already. So what I'm going to do is put up a load of this into there, and then I'm going to turn the temperature down. And just flatten it out so it's in a big circle and all the bits touch. Okay, next one I'll do the little part. Turn these down, don't use them all the way up now. Flatten it all down, now not into the big pile. Go around the edges, just spin, making sure all the bits are touching each other. What we do is leave this to cook for about 10 minutes or until you think it's starting to pull together underneath. I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Right, so the Bubble and Squeak is getting crispy on the underneath, so I'm just going to move this to under the grill to cook until it's golden brown on top. Once it's golden brown on top, it's fine, it's ready to serve, so I'll show you when that's ready. Right, it's been about 15 minutes with the Bubble and Squeak being under the grill, and it's started to look like this. So as you can see, it's lovely and golden brown. It's moving away from the pan, which is good. It's nice and crispy on top. So that's now ready to serve. Have it with ketchup, with gravy, with other vegetables if you like, or you can just have it by itself. It's very nice.